Let's take a look at the live poll results that have been coming in. If you look at the question that's being posted right now, you'll see what is the most important workforce issue facing your community. Some great responses there to look at and to consider. I think this gives us a real indicator, and it's actually something that I intend for us to go back and look at as we think about programs and initiatives. This is great feedback, so I don't want you to think we're just going to discard this as a one-time deal. This really begins to inform and shape what we think about more broadly around workforce and gives us a good indicator of what's going on around the state and from where you sit. Before we have Rob Russell come on to kick off our All Things Missouri Workforce Development session, we have some more guests, leaders from around the state who have been very involved in this process with us and talking about workforce development, and they would love to be with us live today, but they were willing for us to go out and get a little bit of video footage of them talking about the importance of workforce development in Missouri. Let's take a look.
You know, in 2020, you can't have a successful economic development strategy if you don't have a successful workforce development strategy. And that's why Governor Parson has emphasized workforce and infrastructure as the key pillars of our economic development strategy for the entire state. So for DED, for the Department of Economic Development, for us, that means the Missouri One Start team is working alongside our regional engagement business development teams all across Missouri to help work with employers to provide that customized training to meet those in-demand needs that they have for employee recruitment, retention, and training to make sure that the workforce is there to do the jobs right now when those businesses need them.
The primary factor in workforce development is talent, and in creating the talent for the present and for the future. It became perfectly clear when we did our survey with regards to Missouri 2030, our strategic plan, that according to the Gallup organization, who surveyed over 1,000 CEOs, workforce was by far the number one issue. That hasn't changed today. As we emerge from the pandemic and from the shutdown, the need for talent is going to be that much greater as we reimagine the economy, reimagine business in Missouri.
Another important issue that drives this conversation is financial resources. So making sure that people who want to get training have access to money to do so. Missouri's Fast Track program is a great example of a program that provides resources that people can use to go back to school and get a credential, whether it's a short-term certificate, an associate degree, or if they have some college and no degree, to go back and complete a bachelor's degree in a high-demand occupation.
The driving factors that are associated with workforce development in agriculture are things that Kevin and I see firsthand on our family farm. It's very difficult to hire people to work on the farm today. Technology has entered agriculture like it has every other aspect of our life. But we have a lot of needs for hands-on training and skills. Animal husbandry is a perfect example. Another thing that we need are veterinarians. We need people who can be market news reporters. These are roles that we try to fill at the Department of Agriculture, and it's a very special set of skills that are needed.
I think there are three important factors that are likely to impact community college efforts to make workforce development relevant in the changing economic landscape. First, budget cuts at the state level have hurt community colleges' ability to invest in new workforce programs or even maintain equipment for existing ones. I know that the entire system has felt this as well. The significant curricular and programmatic adjustments that colleges were making before the pandemic to meet the demands of automation and technological change in the workplace may have to be scaled back. Unfortunately, this hurts our workforce development efforts. Second, new social distance requirements in labs and other work areas require further investment to allow students to meet those requirements. Community college workforce training programs will need to think about how to deliver online and remote instruction. Online and remote learning represent a huge shift for many occupational programs, which traditionally rely on in-person, hands-on instruction, particularly in the trades. Colleges will likely have to come up with creative ways to help workforce training faculty adapt to these new ways of teaching. And finally, as the economy recovers, colleges will need to reinvent themselves to meet the evolving industry and employer skill needs. Community colleges can adapt to meet those needs, and we're used to doing that quickly. This economic recovery will require efficient and creative solutions.
The next steps are robust apprenticeships and internships that acquaint people with the opportunities of today and tomorrow directly. We need to make sure that a lot of the people that have lost their jobs, whose jobs might not be coming back, are able to upskill and right skill to those opportunities.
I think we're going to have to continue to focus really on the short and the long-term aspects of workforce development and workforce training in Missouri. So, for example, we know that there are jobs that need to be filled and trained for today, but we also know that we have to educate and prepare Missouri students and citizens for jobs that haven't even been invented yet. So we're really going to have to focus for that long-term talent pipeline. That means state government agencies like the Department of Economic Development, DESE, the Department of Higher Ed and Workforce Development are going to have to continue to work with our partners like the University of Missouri and others to really drive those needs as we serve the private sector that we have today, but also for the long term in our state.
One thing we know is that we have a lot of Missourians who are going to be looking for a next step. People who may have worked in retail or in a restaurant that isn't returning as robustly as it had been operating before COVID. And so those people are going to need resources, time, money, and other kinds of support to get into a training program and connect you with a job that has longevity in this new world in which we're all living.
So what are the next steps, and what can each of you do in your communities to help with workforce development in agriculture? It's real simple. 4-H is a great example of a way to help. We can open up many opportunities for the youth involved in 4-H to explore career opportunities that involve an education at a university or a college or a technical school, but also opportunities that would involve hands-on learning in the workforce immediately.
We need to connect supply and demand. So that means educators talking with business people and vice versa. It means making people aware of the skills that are needed out there and the programs available, such as Missouri Apprenticeship Connect or Missouri Internship Connect, that can help you acquaint yourself with the opportunities that are out there, with the possibilities of our economy.
To me, the best way that we can do that is for the Department of Economic Development and our regional engagement focus to work with our higher ed partners, our community colleges, and our local economic partners to really develop a strategy that's unique for that community, that county, or that region of Missouri. One size does not fit all, and we're going to have to bring all the partners together and develop strategy that makes sense for that community going forward.
You all are a critical resource throughout our state and each of our counties, and you really have the ear of the local community as well as kind of the pulse of the local community. So you can be helpful by referring people to the resources that the state offers, and that's everything from your local job center to the Fast Track program, which is available here in Jeff City and kind of throughout the state. You can also be helpful in telling us the things that the people that you serve need. And so again, through those local engagements with your local elected officials, your local job center, it's a great opportunity to provide information that we use to design programs and serve citizens.
Wow. To hear from 5 leaders who really understand and are committed to workforce development as a team is certainly something that puts Missouri in a really good position. I do want to thank Zora and Chris and Brian and Dan and Rob for being a part of that conversation. I have the privilege of working with each of them in different ways every day, in different meetings, different sessions, and I'm really excited about what can happen in workforce development as we as a team work together.